Okay, in this video, we're going to look at setting up backups for your site. So before you do any design, before you get any content on here, we're going to set up these backups. We're going to get them to run to a schedule, and that means that if at any point things go wrong, you have access to your backup. So make sure you're logged into your website, so you can tell that you are by the fact that you've got this admin bar up the top. If you don't see anything like that, then you would need to go back into your login page here. So it will look something like this. So you just put back in your username and password and log in. Okay, so let's install this plugin. If you've never installed a plugin before, then you'll probably be amazed by how easy it is. So we go here to the plugins area, and we just want to say add new. Now the plugin we're going to be using is called Updraft Plus, and it's a free plugin, which means you can access it directly by searching from this search bar up here. I'm going to type in Updraft. Okay. If you type in Updraft Plus, for some reason this is the only thing that comes up. So somebody's trying to kind of piggyback this plugin. So just type Updraft and then it will come up, and you want this one that's orange. And all you need to do is click the Install Now button. And then once it's installed, you just need to hit activate. So you can either do it from here, or it might take you directly to this, which is your plugins page, and you can, that would say activate, and you would click that link. So it's activated now on my on this website. So where you go to check out all the settings and different options is down here in this settings Updraft Plus backups area. All right, so there's a bit to look at here and to go through, but it's pretty straightforward. At the moment, we haven't got anything on this website, so I wouldn't run a backup right now. But that's how you would manually run a backup. So all you do is click that button, and it will just back it up for you straight away. We can come back to this because once your backups have run, you get the list of them here. But where we're interested in going right now is into the settings. So what we should do, what I would recommend that you do, is set up scheduled backups. Depending on how much work you're doing and how often you're going to be making changes to your website as you build and develop it, would kind of dictate how often you do this. I normally say a daily backup for all of the files and a daily backup of the database when I'm in the sort of creating the website mode, because there's a lot of changes going on. Once the website's finished and launched, I normally would change this to just be weekly, but I'd keep the database daily. And just really quickly, the reason being that the database is where things like your blog posts, it's where your content is stored, and that's more than likely the stuff that you're going to be changing more regularly after you've launched your website. All the other stuff is like your themes and your plugins are not going to necessarily be updated as regularly, but it's really going to depend on you. So that's kind of your call. But for now, if you're sort of keen and you're doing a lot every day, just run these backups daily. You can decide how many of them you want to keep. So what this means is how many they keep on your server, which is here. So just the last few is fine, because what you're also going to be doing is you're going to be sending copies of them off to a remote storage. Now the reason we do that is because it's pretty unlikely, but there is a really small outside chance that something could happen to the servers that your website is hosted on. And I have heard of an actual story of this happening, and all the websites could get deleted, including the backups, because they're basically sitting on that same server. So you need your own copy of your website somewhere else, so that if the worst does happen, you've still got you've still got access to a copy of your site. Now I use Dropbox, but you have all these other options here, so just choose whichever one's relevant for you. So you click on it, and then you just go down here and hit Save Changes. And then once you've done that, you have to authenticate that link. So you click on this link. It will ask you to allow Updraft Plus to access your Dropbox. And that's it, it's done it. Crazy, hey, it's really, really simple. So what will happen now is that anytime you run a backup or a scheduled backup runs, it's going to send a copy to Dropbox. And let me just show you where it saves it. If you go to your Explorer, when you go to your Dropbox area, then there'll be a folder called Apps, and in there it will create one called Updraft Plus for you. And then it's a little bit messy, to be honest, so it just dumps them in here. And for each backup that it runs, there are 5 files. So for example, this is for one of my clients. We've got the database file, then there's one called Others, Plugins, Themes, and Uploads. And sometimes there'll be a few of these upload folders if they get too big. But you can see that there's a date here, so you can see how they're grouped together. What I like to do then is just create a folder by month and just file them away in that to be organized. So if I do need to go back, I can find them quite easily. But if you are stuck, wondering where these backups have gone, that's where you go. So it's Dropbox, Apps, Updraft Plus, and you'll find them in there. Okay, so that's it. Step 1, you have set up your scheduled backups to run, so we can move on to the next step.